situation at Stellantis is, I think the technical term, a mess. You know, we have seen a real collapse of sales. Their global earnings, which are heavily dependent on North America, were down about 48% for the first half.
Today, we're diving into some big news in the car world. Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram, all part of the Stellantis family, are going through some rough patches. Let's break it down and see what's really happening. First off, these brands are struggling with money problems. Stellantis, the big company that owns them, saw its profits drop by almost half this year. That's a huge hit. It's like if your paycheck suddenly got cut in half. Ouch. Now, why is this happening? Well, it's not just one thing. It's like a perfect storm of problems all coming together. One big issue is that people aren't buying as many of their cars. Sales have dropped by 39% in the last 5 years. That's a lot. Imagine if your favorite restaurant lost almost half its customers. They'd be in trouble, right? But here's where it gets interesting. The car makers seem to be part of the problem. They're keeping prices high on older models, even when newer and cooler cars from other brands are out there. It's like trying to sell last year's phone at this year's prices. People just aren't biting. Hey, if you're finding this info helpful, why not hit that subscribe button? We've got plenty more car news and insights coming your way. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. The economy isn't helping either. With the cost of living going up and interest rates staying high, many people are finding it hard to afford new cars. It's like everything's getting more expensive, but our wallets aren't getting any fatter. And get this, some of these car models are just sitting on dealer lots for way too long. We're talking over 400 days in some cases. That's more than a year of cars just waiting to be sold. It's like having a pizza shop where the pizzas are made, but no one's buying them. Not good for business. But it's not just about the cars themselves. The company behind these brands, Stellantis, seems to be having its own problems. They've been changing bosses a lot, and recently they've been laying off workers. It's like a sports team that keeps changing coaches and players. It's hard to win games that way. And here's something that might surprise you. Some of these brands, like Jeep, which used to be super popular, are now getting a bad rap for not being reliable. People are worried about high repair costs and cars breaking down. It's like finding out your favorite restaurant might give you food poisoning. Suddenly, you're not so keen on eating there anymore. So, what does all this mean for the future of these iconic American car brands? Well, it's hard to say for sure, but things need to change, and fast. They need to come up with new, exciting cars that people actually want to buy. They need to price them right, make sure they're reliable, and maybe even think about making more electric or hybrid models to keep up with the times. It's not all doom and gloom, though. These brands have been around for a long time and have survived tough times before. They've got a lot of history and loyal fans, but they need to step up their game if they want to stay in the race. What do you think? Can these classic American car brands turn things around? Or are they headed for the scrap heap? Let me know in the comments below. Remember, the car world is always changing, and what's true today might be different tomorrow. That's why it's so important to stay informed and keep an eye on these big industry shifts. They don't just affect the companies, they can impact all of us as consumers too. So, whether you're a car enthusiast or just someone who needs to get from A to B, these changes in the auto industry are worth watching. Who knows? They might even influence what kind of car you'll be driving in the future. That's all for now, folks. Keep your engines running smooth, and we'll catch you in the next video.